Over the past 2 years, we have spoken to about 75 startup founders that have worked on all kinds of businesses. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us every week. This week, we thought we'd do something different. One of the biggest challenges that every startup founder faces is how do you get from 0 to 1? How do you get your first few customers? So this week, we have summarized some of the insights from all of our guests over the years.
And so if you could press a button and get a cab, the thesis was pretty simple, saying, okay, why don't you press a button and get everything else? Why is that not possible? Right? If it's in your city, it should come. There's no reason why it should just be a cab, because mobile phone should be able to move everything around. And that was it. That was a really simple thought. Figured from the first business that wouldn't start building tech and product early on, because it sounds like a great idea in my head, but who the heck knows if customers really want it or not. So had 3 people in Bangalore whom I could actually tell them about this idea, and told them that why don't you text me on WhatsApp? I will do this for you. You don't have to worry about anybody randomly doing it. And then started running down things for them. Right. In 4 months, it really caught on fire. We acquired about 10,000 odd customers on WhatsApp, and which meant there have been days where I have just gone about starting deliveries at 5 in the morning and delivering till 1 in the night. And there is no logic behind all of this. This was not to build a business. This was not to figure out saying, we will change the world like this. None of that. This was just for the joy of customers being thrilled at the end of the day. Because every time you went and actually delivered something to people, people were just really deliriously happy, and they would tell each other, and that was just amazing to see, where people would actually go ahead and very consciously tell each other, saying, "Hey, just try this. You can message this number, and it'll get done." And so that was a little bit of a sense of the fact that maybe the market is not just me or the 3 people that I know.
And Jakarta is a massive city, so like there is central Jakarta and there is suburbs of Jakarta, and the moment you go to the suburbs, you will see that the penetration of any wallet or any major tech player is non-existent. Everything is happening offline, everything is traditional, everything happening on books, or payments are happening in cash. When they want a loan, they go to loan sharks or their families, right? When they want to restock, they just go and pick up the products from their wholesaler. They don't get any credit to buy from their wholesaler, right? So a lot of it is we saw a lot of inefficiencies, and then the problem for us was where do we play, right? I mean, as founders, what is the best entry point for us to serve these MSMEs, and how do we start to build that business, right? So we saw that bookkeeping and cash flow management was a very common problem across all segments of businesses that we met, right? And we met around 20-30 different types of businesses, and everyone had a common problem of managing their credit and managing their cash flow, and like they didn't understand how much profit they made, how much money they had in hand, how much was their expense. Is their business doing better now this month compared to last month, or better this week compared to last week? This was completely missing. So that financial awareness piece was missing, and that is what we intended to solve in our first product, which was the bookkeeping app that we launched. So BukuWarung app has scaled from 0 to more than like 5 million users in the last 1 year, 12 months or so.
Back then, we were 2 people just trying to make a living, just trying to understand whether mattresses could actually be bought online. Okay. 2015 was the time when nobody was selling online on mattresses. When we wanted to list on Amazon did not even have a category called mattresses in India. So they put us under furniture. So that's where our listing got live. And for those initial 5 or 6 months before we even incorporated the private limited, we ended up selling 1 mattress a day, 1 mattress every 2 days. We didn't know which one people are buying. Why are they buying online? Why are they paying 20,000 rupees online to an unknown company run by 2 unknown people and then still taking that risk? Who are these early adopters? So we had no clue, right? So we started talking to customers. And the reason we started talking to is because the volume was so low. So one order a day, right? So we would just pick up the phone and speak to them and say that, how did you discover us? What made you buy? Is this the size that you ordered? Are you sure this is the variant that you want? And they would ask us questions. Where are you from? Which college? Why are you running this? And so on and so forth. Our very first customer was an NRI. He had just seen that mattress selling online had started in the US, and he had returned to India recently, and he said, oh, let me try. And that's how he had risked his money and bet on us. So when we started talking to these people, that's what gave us insight that people figure that it is very, very expensive outside. Secondly, they feel that it is very inconvenient to go to a store and then make a purchase because they don't know what they're buying and why they're buying.
Yeah, we finally went live in August 2020 after 3 to 4 months of research, hustle and experimentation. And yeah, उसके बाद journey फिर काफी interesting थी. Most of the first 10,000 customers now again how we got was through a lot of community activities. We were very sure कि जो पहले 1,000 customers हम लाएंगे, we want everyone of them to be connected to someone or the other from the FamPay team. We wanted to closely look at their journey here. Actually user करता क्या है. We wanted to find the first 1,000 users who love us, and हमें उन पे we decided to not spend $1 to get the first 1,000 customers. तो हमने 5-6 interns लिए टीम में, and we used to actually we launched a influencer program basically, and where the strategy was we targeted we created a database of top 200 schools in India, and हर एक school में we used to pick up like the 5 most popular kids in each schools, right? That was the idea कि हम हर सबसे popular जो head boy head girls होते हैं या जो performing arts में होते हैं, हम ऐसे बच्चों को पकड़ते हैं, right? And it was very strategic. हमने बहुत strategically like अगर एक स्कूल से 5 उठा रहे हैं तो we were like अगर 3 लड़के हैं तो 2 लड़कियां होनी चाहिए, अगर 2 12th के हैं तो 2 10th के होने चाहिए. It was very strategic, right? And that is how we reached out to them and we were like, would you like to be a brand ambassador or a teen influencer to FamPay? We are from IIT, we are building this so and so. And like that is how we got like the first 300-400 customers. We told them हम तुमसे सीखेंगे and all of that. And through their network, right, we started creating Instagram stories. They started posting about the product. So when एक स्कूल के सबसे 5 पॉपुलर बच्चे सब डाल रहे थे कि यार we have started using FamPay, it went crazy. तो हमने पहले 5-10 हजार यूजर्स में बिल्कुल भी we did not spend like almost any dollar, right? It was very close network. We were building a community. We were trying to stay in close touch with the users. And जैसे हम 10,000 तक पहुंचे, then we started pushing different growth levers. We started experimenting on referrals. We started experimenting on जब फिर वो referral से 20-25 हजार तक पहुंचे, then we were like, let's now start focusing on performance marketing. धीरे-धीरे फिर influencer marketing भी शुरू की. So
right from early 2016, we started doing something called as open house events, where we would invite people in batches of 40-50 people on weekends to spend 3-4 hours with us. We'd put up a presentation and essentially we'd talk about what our belief about the product is, how we are building it differently, and why they should totally be supportive of it, right? So don't wait for the glass showroom to pop up for them to, come and make a purchase. Make them buyers years before the vehicle is ready, right? So we wanted evangelists to be created via this process early on. So practically every month, every 2 months, we kept doing events like this, which kept creating this community of people who were following us, knew how Ather thinking differently, and many of them came back again and again, right? Kept in touch, followed us over a long term. There's a bunch of them in Bangalore and a few in Chennai. So people who were following us, I think we kind of connected enough and deeply with them to make sure that the journey was worthwhile for them, and kind of kept that bridge open with customers for us, right? Because otherwise it's a very scary place. I started building a product for like 3-4 years with no launches, no product market fit, no customer feedback. It's a very scary journey, right? In fact, I wouldn't recommend it. But these open house events, and I think we did like about 15-16 of them over a period of 2 years, kind of really kept us planted. Got us enough feedback. So whatever thesis we had, at one point, a thesis started moving away from building only a performance product to bake in a lot of connectivity and intelligence on the product, because that's going to be a long-term differentiator. But that was just in our heads, right? Like we believed in it, but it would be a very scary bet if customers didn't see it. So what we started doing is in many open house events, we started exclusively focusing on this story, right? Made this front, left, and center of our presentation, just to sort of watch out when do people's eyes light up. And if enough people don't seem excited by it, maybe we are wrong. So we kept doing this to make sure this connect was there. The investors were very, very supportive.
For any typical marketplace, generally you always face through that chicken egg problem that if you don't have supply, how do you get demand? If you don't have demand, how do you get supply? So we decided to kind of solve that by short-circuiting supply to at least some extent and then focusing on demand and then continue to focus more and more on supply. So even before deciding to build Pratilipi, one of the things that I had done was that I had spoken with about 350 odd authors in trying to understand why does this problem even exist? Like, it doesn't make sense that something like this shouldn't have already been built. So when we decided to pursue Pratilipi, the first thing that we did was we reached out to these people and talked to them about that, you have told us your problem and now we are trying to solve it. Would you like to help us? So a lot of people still said no, primarily because again, their point of view was that you don't really have any readers. So why would I spend any time or any energy on doing this? So our counterpoint to them basically was that what if you don't have to spend any time whatsoever? All you have to do is say yes, we will do everything else. So we'll make your account, we'll upload your content. If people are reading it, we'll tell you whatever feedback you are getting, we'll tell you and all of that. So that is how we convinced about 150 of these 350 writers. The second thing that we did was we got some public domain content in the languages that we had launched. So public domain definition will be different in different countries, but in India, basically once a writer passes away, 60 years post that the content gets into public domain. So we got about 150 odd stories from public domain content. And then we focused on trying to find these people some readers, number one. And number two, we just tried to make the writers who are still alive feel as special and as good as possible. So these writers then started sharing these profile links on Facebook and other channels, mainly Facebook. And then their friends would basically come to us and say that, you have published my friend's story, so why don't you publish our story as well? And we would say, absolutely great, just send us your story and we'll publish it. So this is how we essentially started growing.
So we started and by April, May, started getting a lot of good traction. And obviously it makes sense, correct? 25-30 हजार रुपए किसी के बच रहे हैं तो हम क्या करते थे? We used to go out on the street. घर के बाहर टूलेट बोर्ड लगा रहता है, उसका फोटो लाते थे, घर पे फोन आते थे, फोन करते थे ओनर को, सर we'll get your property rented for free and there is no charge to list this property on this portal and we are coming up with new portal. Nobody in the world will say no. We never got a rejection on that particular thing. एक आध बार कस्टमर जरूर गुस्सा हो गया कि यार कॉल क्यों किया, but nobody rejected. And that's how we started getting supply. And once we got the supply, we got a lot of demand via Facebook and all other advertisement platforms what we used. Acha traction tha. We used to go to, so I'm just trying to answer the kind of challenges. So there are 2-3. So one is when we went to VCs, VCs को बताया तो बोले अरे बहुत बढ़िया, this is really good traction and all those things. And एक meeting, 2 meeting, अच्छा broker कैसे eliminate करते हो? And we were naive to tell them everything, whatever is there. तो फिर बोलते 2 meeting 3 meeting हुए, फिर बोलेंगे ऐसा यूएस में हुआ है क्या?
So on the first piece, I think what I can say is it's sheer persistence. So I mean, I personally was the sales guy right back in 2016 end when we were signing up these retail customers. So I literally had the persistence to reach out to CXOs of all retailers in the country. I had no idea, right, who would be my first customer. So I kind of worked backward. Look, these are the 30 top modern retailers who run 3,000 plus stores in India. These are my customers. I want to get all of them. I don't know in which order will I get them. I don't even know whether I'll get all of them, but I want to try. So I kind of started knocking doors of all of these guys. Very simple email, LinkedIn reach outs. I think very counterintuitive, right? You generally think that CXOs of these large businesses wouldn't respond, right? They would get a lot of, you can say, such messages, such emails, and they wouldn't respond. But it works. You just have to be persistent. So I think I kind of made way into all of them. I think wrote to all 30 of them, followed up maybe 5-6 times. Over a period of 2 months, we were able to get 5 retailers from that engagement who did not say a yes, but they were happy to explore. So they kind of loved the passion and the place where we were coming from. They were excited that young people like us are taking interest to solve problems in a legacy industry like retail. So they were excited about the opportunity. They did not say a yes. They did not say a no. They said, okay, we'll explore.
There was a very clear thinking that this is a product which is a trust-based product. Now, in this product, you cannot have a leeway with the consumer saying that, oh, I am a startup and I goofed up with your money. Like in Citrus, I remember we had few issues. We went to the merchants, apologized, said, oh, no, we goofed up, but we are a startup. We'll fix it and, excuse us and all of that. but I don't think we have those chances here. So in that sense, we wanted to be very, very sure about our capability to deliver at a scale. So right now we are scaling in a manner in which we are getting more and more confident each day. So that was the whole idea of controlling or rationing the onboarding number of onboardings every day. So that was the idea. So I think once we have crossed 100,000 users who have been part of our first list and next list, that's the time when we'll start opening up for everyone. But right now we don't want to open till the time we hit that number, because we just want to ensure that every day everything is stable, works as expected, and no unknown which we are discovering.
Just launching it. So we made a small launch. We actually launched in the IIT Bombay cultural festival itself, Mode Indigo. We launched offline, and there we had a brand ready. We launched the brand. We had our products, early set of products, and whatever we prepared for, we were sold out. It's a 4-day festival. We were sold out in just 2.5 days. And after that, I think the product market fit, we could see that there is definitely a need for such kind of products among the young people. Back then, again, there was no name millennials or Gen Z for the 20 years old. But we could see that there's a need. We made products accordingly, and we launched them, and they worked phenomenally well. Building D2C and going online was accidental. So when we launched at Mode Indigos, and we were sold out in 2.5 days, a lot of people, they loved the products. Maybe their friends had bought and they wanted the same. So when people kept coming back for us in the to our exhibition stall, we just on the fluke, we said that our website is coming, you can buy. And the reason we said it, because most of the people who come to Mode Indigo, they come from outside colleges. We could not have said them like, okay, so soon it will be available at retail store at near your place. That was not going to happen. So maybe you can buy it online. So that's how we ended up going online. And again, in 1.5 months, we were ready. We launched it online, and again had another proof of concept.
We chanced upon building something for the chemicals industry, right? And the reason we did that was because we were in Bombay, Gujarat were in close proximity to each other. The chemical industry was blooming. And we realized that, hey, why not build a full stack platform for a chemical sort of a marketplace? We built that for chemicals and polymers for the first 6-7 months. And our first customer was roughly around May 2015. I vividly remember that. And, it was procurement of some amount of polymer granules. The trade sizes, the average order value were very, very high. But Mazin, it was a very working capital intensive business in chemicals and polymers, right? And we realized that the only way to scale in chemicals, polymers would essentially be to deploy more and more amount of working capital and really, thereby scale the GMV, and it's going to be a GMV rat race, which we did not want to be a part of. And that's where Mazin back in 2016, at the start of 2016, at the onset of 2016, all of our founders, all three of us actually sat down and we chartered the growth path for the next 2-3 years. And we realized that, hey, we don't want to be a part of the GMV rat race. And that's when we built this beautiful segmentation of the B2B landscape in India of commodities, branded products, and unbranded products.
Okay.
So these were the 3 segments. Under commodities, you would have all metal, cement, chemicals, polymers, etc. All raw materials, right? All raw materials under the brand, right? And we realized that, there is so much amount of supply side fragmentation in the unbranded territory that it automatically makes much more sense because the margin structure is way higher.
Right?
And that was the key. That was the essence. That was the decision maker for us to go ahead and really lap onto the unbranded charter, the unbranded territory. And we started off building a packaging marketplace in 2016.
We learned from the best, right? So we always looked up to Robinhood and how they revolutionized the way people invest in stocks, right? And one thing that they did very right was opening for beta users, right? Even before they launched their product, because once you have users lined up, your feedback loop is all set up, right? You don't have to pay anyone. You can simply launch. You can have very basic product, which can be vetted by some amazing beta users who can give you feedback and get that exciting feedback loop working and get to a product market fit very, very early. So before we even launched, we have over 100,000 Indians signed up for our product. We launched in June 1st. We could only rolled out to 10,000 users in that month, making sure that we collect the right feedback, we improve the product before we roll out to the rest of the population. And through that feedback loop, I think we kind of got the real inputs, which helped us build